Hello and welcome. My name is Brian Barrick, and I'll be your instructor for political science, and I'm really excited that you're here. I'm really looking forward to working with you this semester. These are going to be a resource that are available to you throughout the semester. Now, if you're taking my class on an asynchronous format and we never meet face-to-face, these are going to be our lecture videos for the class, so you can always come here every week. In every module, you're going to have lecture videos just like this one that will help explain all of the course content to you. Some of you are going to be taking the class with me face-to-face, and these are going to be more a resource to you. Let's say you get sick at some point during the semester, or you were a little sleepy that day in class and you want to go back and use these as a resource to you. Just know that you can always find a lot of the course content here as well. Maybe you're somebody who's not even taking a class with me and you're finding these videos on YouTube. You can feel free to use them in whatever political science class you're taking. Leave a message in the comments for me and let me know if you're enjoying or finding any value out of them. But welcome. What we're going to do today is really get kick-started on our first part of the class together. And so why don't we just go ahead and dive right in? I'm going to have slides available for you every week inside of our Canvas shell. And throughout this week together, we're going to be exploring kind of how to access those resources. But why don't we go ahead and just kind of get a quick overview of what we're going to be doing at the beginning, just as we get started in the class. Number one, introductions are always so important. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I want to learn a little bit about you as well. We're also going to look at some of the course resources in another video, things like our textbook and other things that you can use to be successful in the class. We'll review the syllabus together, and then finally, you can have a chance to ask me anything that's on your mind. Having an open door to you as your instructor is so important to me, so never hesitate to reach out throughout the semester if you do have questions or if I can lend a hand. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and start our introductions? And again, so glad you're here. My name, as I said before, is Brian Barrick. I'm a full-time political science instructor here at Los Angeles Harbor College, and I'm also a first-generation college student. I'm the first in my family to have ever gone to college or completed a college education, and for me, that was a really important experience. It really opened doors to me professionally and personally that I otherwise wouldn't have had access to. And so I am really passionate about my role as an educator. In terms of my educational background, I actually got my bachelor's degree in sociology at UC Santa Cruz. And during that experience had the benefit of being able to study abroad. So I spent a year in West Africa as an exchange student studying in Ghana, and that was an amazing experience for me. If any of you ever have the opportunity to pursue study abroad programs, whether that be at the community college level or when you transfer to university, I really want you to consider taking advantage of those opportunities. I went on later to get my master's degree in political science at California State University, Long Beach. Some of you might even be thinking about transferring to Long Beach, and if so, please let me know. I'd be happy to share any details with you about my experience there. This class touches upon politics a lot, and so my political history does include working for a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. So that's a Congress member who represented the Central Coast of California. I spent a lot of time working in Santa Cruz and Watsonville and Salinas. In fact, I helped co-manage a congressional office there in Santa Cruz and really specialized in working with military families. So active duty military members, veterans in our community, and really trying to be that point person between the Congress member and our constituency of veterans and military families living along the Central Coast, which was an incredible experience for me. I'm also somebody who's had political experiences working as an intern. And if any of you watching this are interested in internships, let me know. They can be really valuable. In fact, that's what actually led me to my first job out of college. I had done an internship for a California state lawmaker, opening mail and answering phones and all of that. And it really led to some very rewarding professional opportunities for me. So, it's a great thing to consider if that's something that you're interested in. And I'm always happy to help share strategies and resources with you. I've worked in the LACCD, the Los Angeles Community College District, since 2010 in a number of different roles, both teaching and as a classified staff member and supervisor. I really love my current role as a full-time instructor here at LACCD and LA Harbor College specifically, but I've also had experiences operating programs like the Dream Resource Center at East Los Angeles College, And so bring a lot of that student services awareness too, which means if you ever have questions about the school or, getting connected to resources on campus, you might think that you can only reach out to me with questions about political science or about what we're covering. But just know my door's also always open to you if you're having difficulty navigating the campus. That's really important to me as well. So that's a little bit about me. You're going to get to know me more throughout the semester, and we'll be spending more time interacting with one another. Now, every instructor has goals for their students. And, there's certain goals that I have for you. I want you to turn your work in on time and get good grades, have a positive experience in the class, and eventually pass the class and really gain something along the way. Every instructor wants that for their students. But there's also 3 other goals that I think are really important that I would love to see for you this semester. And so when I think about my higher order goals for my students, there are typically 3 things that I have in mind. Positive citizenship, meaningful learning, and opening possibilities. So why don't we break those down one at a time? Number 1, positive citizenship. I don't have to tell you. You know by looking around, watching the news, or going on social media, when it comes to issues of politics, we live in a deeply divided country where people tend to be pretty angry in terms of how they relate and interact with each other. And I really think that in a country as diverse as ours, with over 300 million Americans, we're never going to see eye to eye on anything. So it's really important for us as individuals to learn some skills of positive citizenship. How can we have community with other people with whom we disagree and still be able to do that in a respectful way? So one of those skills that I want to develop here in the class is being able to communicate with others, to advance our own beliefs or values in a way that also recognizes and respects the other person sitting across from you. So in our class discussions, we're going to have an opportunity for engagement. We're going to have an opportunity to build our own skills when it comes to describing what we think about politics. Some of you, I realize, maybe don't have many political views at all. Others are going to have very strong political views. No matter, hopefully we can build that skill of being able to communicate, take that out into our communities, take that out into our families, and hopefully begin to change some of the cultural climate that we have in the United States around politics. So that's number 1. Let's build up those positive citizenship skills. Number 2 is going to be meaningful learning. Now, all of us, regardless of whether you're a U.S. citizen or whether you're a resident of the United States, we all live in a democracy. And there are ways that we can get involved and make a difference in our community. The things that we're going to be learning about in this class throughout the semester are going to connect directly to how you live in the United States. So I want that learning to be meaningful to you throughout the class, throughout the semester. We're going to be learning about how politics works in the United States, and it's something that touches each and every one of us. So hopefully, as you go through this class, you're going to find yourself a more informed citizen, somebody who really knows what's going on a lot more than you did when you started. And that's how I want your learning to be meaningful, something that you can take from this class and take out into the world. And finally, I said the third thing is opening possibilities. Now, as you heard before, going to college for me completely changed everything. It was a big game changer in terms of my life trajectory. I think that college education can really open up a lot of doors. And if I can ever be of assistance to you in, helping you access your next goals, whatever that might look like, reach out to me, let me know, let's have a meeting to discuss. I'm always happy to play my part in connecting you with where you want to go. So those are my higher order goals for you. So I've told you a little bit about myself, but I want to learn a little bit about you as well. And so what we're going to do next, the very first activity that we're going to do together as a class is going to be an icebreaker. We got to break the ice, right? Always important. So I've got a couple of questions keyed up for you. I want you to go into our discussion forum, and I want you to answer these 3 questions. It's going to be our first activity, our first assignment together. Number 1, what would an introduction be without your name, right? You have to go ahead and tell us who you are. Tell us something unique and interesting about you. Number 2, I want you to share your first political memory. Not your first ever memory. I don't want to hear about how, you walked into the living room and you saw your brother or something like that. Your first political memory. So some of you might know right away like what that is. Others might have a hard time kind of conceptualizing what that is. So let me give you an example from me. When I was 6 years old, the United States went to war with Iraq for the first time. And it's called the First Gulf War. And I remember being 6, my mom was watching the local news station, KCRA Channel 3 up in the Sacramento area. And she saw a news story that was talking about the war and the troops. And for some reason that I still don't know today, she got really upset. There was something about the way that story was framed that made her feel angry. And so what she did, this was back before we had internet in the house, she went to find the phone book, pulled that huge phone book up, and she found the number for KCRA. And she called it up, and I remember her complaining about the coverage on the news. Now, I was 6 years old. I had no clue about the war. I had no clue about the news. I actually hated when the news was on at 6. But, it was a real eye-opening to me that my mom could have these opinions on political issues. For some of you, maybe your first political memory is an important election, or maybe you saw your parents vote, or there's something else that maybe happened to you. You might have to think about it, but I really want to hear, what was that first political memory in your life? And finally, I want to hear, what are your hopes for the semester? All of you have hopes for the semester, and I want to know what they are, because that can help me also tailor the class to some of the things that you're interested in. Now, I am really looking forward to getting to know you all. I'm looking forward to reading your posts and the discussion, and hopefully you've enjoyed getting to know me a little bit as well. Don't forget to watch the other lecture videos, because I'm going to have other resources here for you, and go ahead and scroll down and you'll find them. Whoever you are, wherever you are, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Let's have an awesome semester together.